Kevin Sorbo. Yeah, it's nice to see his name pop up on the list there. Every one of the most recognizable guys working today. Got a movie called God Is Not Dead, or God's Not Dead, among many other things. And you want to check out his website, kevinsorbo.net. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning to you as well.
How you doing this morning?
You know, I'm doing okay. Just in my little office here in my house and prepped and ready to go to talk about the DVD release of God's Not Dead.
Well, we appreciate you digging it out early to do that. You know, for people who haven't seen this movie, you talk about the little movie that could. Now, you probably have more accurate figures, but we're looking at a $2 million budget in a movie that returned $62 million at the box office.
You're pretty much right on the money there, and it's also done quite well overseas and still has, from my last count, 33 more countries to open in. I think it's made another 15, 20 million overseas, so it's really been pretty remarkable.
So you get on the road to hit each and every one of those openings, right?
Yeah.
So, Kevin, what's special about the film? What's the magic that made it such a success?
You know, I just think we've reached a tipping point in America. I think people are tired of the stuff coming out of Hollywood, and I think people want, product that's got a good message, it's got good moral values, but it's got a good story to tell at the same time without being cheesy. And I think a lot of these faith-based movies coming out in the last 4 or 5 years are showing that. I mean, it was really kicked off, a decade ago there with Passion of the Christ with Mel Gibson and Jim Caviezel. And then The Blind Side came along, did big box office, and it sort of made Hollywood wake up and pay attention. But, we didn't have any big studios behind this movie at all. They just went independent with it, and it was all word of mouth. I mean, the budget for promoting it was very low. It was just me just kind of doing this stuff, through the publicity team there out of Nashville, Icon, which does a great job. And it's just been incredible. It's all been word of mouth. Because, to open up on 780 screens, which is amazing for a small movie anyway, it moved to 1,400 the next week just because all these screens were filling up, and it moved to 2,000 the third weekend. So that doesn't happen. It usually goes the opposite direction. There's usually a 50-60% drop-off. But this movie just kept growing and growing, and thank you to all those people that went to see it.
Spending some time with Kevin Sorbo, star of God's Not Dead. You're going to want to catch that DVD Blu-ray release. It's got to be a joy for you to be at the point in your career, too, that you can sit back and pick projects that really, really appeal to you without maybe so much worry about, okay, well, I got bills to pay. I got to get some groceries in the refrigerator here.
Well, I was very fortunate. I had 2 big, long-running hits. I mean, Hercules was huge in the 90s. I shot that down in New Zealand from 1993 to 2000. We passed Baywatch as the most-watched TV show in the world. It reached its peak at 176 countries. And then I went right in from there to Andromeda, which was the first show ever created by Gene Roddenberry, and I had a 5-year run on that. So since 2005, I've just jumped into the theatrical world and been doing a boatload of these small independent projects that I'm attracted to, and I've been very fortunate. But I'm kind of itching to get back on TV, so I've got 2 projects. We just sold a series to the Hallmark Channel. We're going to shoot the 2-hour pilot for that, and I've got another one that's faith-based. And we've got a lot of interest in that one. I hope that one's the one that gets picked up. I hope that one gets a rock and roll start here soon.
Kevin Sorbo with us, God's Not Dead, themovie.com. Or you can check out the Facebook page, too. DVD Blu-ray release this week. You kind of play anti-faith in the movie, though. You're the atheist philosophy professor in this film.
I had to act in this one. I'm a Christian, so it was. But it was a great, wonderfully written script, and it was just in the words. And I know I've got atheist friends. We've had wonderful debates and conversations in the past, and I didn't really base the character off that. I based it off what was written, but I also based it off what I see on television with these guys. I mean, they actually have the president of American atheists, whatever. It always interests me that people, that why do they get so angry about something they don't believe in? So I don't believe in broccoli, so you're welcome to add. So I don't get all the anger that comes from these guys.
You're going to get scorched all over Twitter today for not believing in broccoli. Now you know that.
In our politically correct world, you're going to offend somebody, aren't we?
Tell us about some of the people you worked with and what that was like.
Well, Shane Harper, people know him from the Disney Channel. Great guy. Really the bulk of my scenes were done with him, and he tackled this project just head on. He was so well prepared and such a pro, and we had these wonderful debates in this philosophy class. I was a college professor of philosophy, and I know people are shocked out there that there's atheists in our universities. And what I loved about this movie, at the very end of the movie, they show 37 court cases that deal with exactly this, that college students are being persecuted just for believing in God, which is amazing to me. And, people are spending all this money to send their kids to college. Teach your math, teach your science. That's what they're in there for. If you're a college professor that's doing those subjects, what should you care where a college student, where his faith-based structure is? But, what their students are coming out of these colleges, many of them going in as Christians and coming out as non-believers, thanks to the atheists of America. So it's a very strange place we're living in. We got to fight back.
Kevin Sorbo with us from the movie God's Not Dead, God's Not Dead, themovie.com, DVD, Blu-ray, out this week. You mentioned that this tipping point, perhaps, in Hollywood with some of these films, a lot of reboots, a lot of sequels from the big budget films, and you have these little films that succeed. Certainly God's Not Dead, and Heaven is for Real, did almost $100 million at the box office. What's the reaction to from some of your Hollywood friends who might not have ever thought that they would think about starring in a film like this?
Well, it is interesting because I do have a couple friends that, they say they're religious and they've done some of these movies, but they still haven't really come out of that Christian closet yet. So it's amazing that Hollywood wields the power that it wields in terms of making people, talk badly about Christians. I don't understand why the energy is directed that way. You see what's going on in the Muslim world, and I know not all Muslims are bad. I know, so I don't need more emails. But that seems to be the religion that's causing most of the problems in the world. I don't know of any Christians strapping bombs to themselves and blowing up churches or mosques or things like this. So it's a very strange sort of backward mentality we got going, and it's. You just got to keep fighting that fight, and the people are so afraid to come out and speak up their mind. I've just reached a point where I'm done. I'm tired of it, and I'm just going to let people know where I stand. And we've got to get our country back. This country is founded on Christianity. It wasn't founded on atheism.
It's remarkable because we spent some time with Chuck Woolery a while back. He what you just said, paraphrases very closely to what he just said. Enough is enough. I'm to the point now that I can go ahead and just say what I think. And, I'm kind of bulletproof in that matter, and I'm going to let people know what I think and get involved in projects I want to get involved in.
Well, Chuck's a good guy. I know him, and I think more and more people are just sort of standing up and saying, like you just said, enough is enough.
All right, Kevin, we promised listeners we'd at least ask this. Were you approached at all about making a guest appearance in the new Hercules film?
We actually approached them. I know Dwayne Johnson. We're not buddies, but we've worked out together at the same gym for many years. He's a great guy. We approached the director, Brett Ratner, and said, hey, they did it with Lou Ferrigno and the Hulk. Audience loved it. My show is, still out there on Netflix, on Hub TV and Encore Cable, and why not throw them in there for a 2-minute cameo? The audience will love it, and they turned us down flat.
Oh, man.
I was a little shocked. And I said, what does it hurt? The audience would absolutely love it, but they decided not to do it. So, yeah, it kind of bummed me out. I mean, I'm still out there, and somebody sent me a poll that they put on Facebook, and 87% of the people polled said I was the Hercules. So.
I was going to say, and audiences seem to be reflecting that in their box office receipts, too.
Yeah, the movie's not doing so great, but, I don't know why or whatever. I mean, I don't think it could just be a bump on their advertising campaign. Who knows? I mean, it looked good to me in the trailer, but like I said, what came back to me is people said that they didn't deal with mythology at all. And if you're dealing with Hercules, don't make it look like, that it's not mythology.
Going back to something you said before, I picture myself being the poor schlub who wanders into the gym to do a couple of crunches to find you and Dwayne Johnson in there working out at the same time. Yeah, I think I'm going to go wash the car now. I'll come back later on when it's not quite so crowded.
Hey, Rock.
He's a big dude, I got to say. I mean, the biggest I ever got was 230 pounds. I think he looks like about 280 in that Hercules movie.
Yeah. Can you guys spot me, please? I'm trying to bench press $120. Kevin Sorbo, again, the movie is God's Not Dead, DVD release tomorrow. Also on Blu-ray, too. And God's Not Dead, themovie.com, the website for a little bit more.
Kevin, we are big fans. We appreciate you taking time out of your day for us.
My pleasure, and thanks for giving it a plug. It should be out there in Walmart and, like you said, all those other places. And Lionsgate's doing a great job of getting it out there for us.
All right, we'll look forward to seeing the new stuff. Hallmark Channel, and where else will we see you?
I just got a number. I've got a new movie coming out called The Secret Handshake. Hopefully it'll be in theaters here by October. And the DVD release of another movie through PureFlix, the same company I did God's Not Dead with, is called Revelation Road. And that should be out in September as well. And then I also have What If. People should check out What If. It's on Netflix right now. It's another wonderful faith-based movie by PureFlix.
Outstanding. One of the good guys in Hollywood, Kevin Sorbo. Thanks again for your time. Have a terrific week.
All right, you too, guys. Thanks.
Appreciate it.